people are losing their jobs, and there's families and livelihoods being lost here. And like my whole family has lost their jobs. We're contemplating fleeing the country because we can't do anything anymore. I can't even support my family. I just have a 15-day-old here, and I'm fighting for them. We're fighting for our families and everybody else's families, and peacefully, obviously. And but still, we're getting arrested for as true Canadians, just waving a Canadian flag.
As you said, you served for the country. Did you ever think you'd see something like this in your lifetime in Canada?
Like, to be honest, I thought the First and Second World Wars was that was their fight for freedom, and that we had it, and we but freedom's not free. We have to hold to it, and if anybody infringes on that, we're not going to be that small minority fringe.
In a recent report found at convoyreports.com, I showed you how, after RCMP prevented a slow-roll convoy from circulating near the Pacific Highway border crossing between Surrey, BC and Washington State, a handful of protesters formed a blockade and some chaos unfolded. Since then, at least 16 people have been arrested over multiple days at the border, mostly with charges of mischief, and there is currently no blockade there anymore. The arrests, and now even the Trudeau government using the Emergencies Act to have sweeping powers over what can be done to peaceful protesters who disagree with him, did not deter a small convoy and a sea of protesters waving Canadian flags from demonstrating in the area for the third weekend in a row this past Saturday. In today's report, I take you back to hear directly from some of the first to be arrested at this border and to see firsthand why the blockade started there in the first place. Convoys for freedom as well as blockades have been occurring across the country in demands for COVID-19 mandates to come to an end. That includes in British Columbia. I've already brought you two reports at rebelnews.com that covered the blockade that took place in front of the Pack Highway truck crossing. Right now I am standing on 8th and Highway 15, which is about 1.5 kilometers away from there, and you can see police have already started to block off the road. There is a convoy taking place. It's being blocked off from different directions, and I'm here to follow up on what I hear was an arrest that took place on one of the protesters. We're going to get to the bottom of why that is. We're also going to see is that handful of cars that did end up blocking the crossing yesterday, and also maybe some protesters like we saw when the police tried to prevent them from continuing a convoy. Is that still happening? Keep watching. All right, sir, you said you were there when the arrest took place. What did you see?
Basically, the police officers formed a line, started moving forward, and I didn't know this, but you need enough people to hold the line across so that they can't move it forward anymore. So once they got past the first set of cars that were in the middle of the street there, the people that were in those cars refused to move back with them, but I guess the police officers feel like they have the right to arrest those people if there's no line being formed. So they pulled them out of their cars and told them they were under arrest, arrested them, took their keys, moved their cars, parked them over on the side, and then started walking towards us even more. And as people saw this, more and more people came up. We formed a line, and then once we formed a line, everyone stopped right there, and it's still there right at 2nd Ave.
Interesting. It's like you need a course on how to protest or something.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I didn't know. I was just sitting there drinking my water, and then they started telling me I was going to get arrested, and I looked around and I realized I was the front of the pack. So then I just stepped back a couple of feet. Nobody really knew how to stop them. We all thought they were just going to keep moving. And then somebody said, everybody form a line. And we didn't have enough people to form a line, but as soon as more people came and we had a line, that was it. Stopped dead right there.
So are you saying this was a line closer towards the actual border itself?
Oh yeah, you could see see the end of the border. It was right on 2nd Ave.
Okay, and approximately how many people would you say were arrested, and were they taken away or released shortly after?
I think 4 people were arrested. 2 were taken away down here, and then they were told to go pick up their cars. And the other 2, I believe, were just taken to jail, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but they're not. I don't see them anymore. So,
all right. So why is it important for you to be here today?
Same reason as everybody else. It's just about freedom, and we should be able to choose what we want. I mean, my situation, I lost my job, I lost everything. All I want to do is wait for Novavax. That's all I want to do. I believe in Novavax. They did science. They did all the testing properly. Why can't I wait for them? I'll get the shot. I don't mind. But I trust Novavax. I want that shot. And because I have to wait, I lost everything. My whole career, my dream job, everything.
That's crazy, and that's a very interesting point. It's not that you're anti-vaccine, as are many people who haven't taken these COVID. They're not anti-vaccine either. But you're saying you've picked which vaccine you trust the most, and this country is preventing you from living like a normal citizen because of that. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't get it. I want to do the right thing, but I just can't. I believe I want to follow the science and do what's right. So, and I just believe we should all be free. I mean, even if you don't believe what I believe and don't want the vaccine, that should be totally fine. I think the whole thing was run weird from the get-go. They should have set out the rules, and if you're really scared, get masked, get vaccinated, stay at home. You can do that. Everybody else is free to do what they want. It's about freedom, right? So, and now there's a lot of science coming out supporting all of that. But we all suffer the consequences now for 2 years. So,
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hi, officers. Hi, officers. Hi, can I ask?
I'm sorry, we are not allowed to
Okay, is there someone here I can speak to?
No, we don't really. Yeah, there's no one here.
There's no one here. There's no supervisor or somebody here who speaks to media? Oh, okay. I was just wondering about the arrest that took place, if you know anything about that or why it happened. Okay. All right. Thanks so much. All right, so by chance we bumped into the first two to get arrested here today on this Sunday. Tell us exactly what happened just before the arrest.
Well, we were walking up to the police line, and we seen that there was a mainstream media camera there. And we walked up. I yelled out that media is the virus. The cops looked at us, asked us all to leave, and right after that, they handcuffed us both and took us to separate squad cars, charged us with mischief.
Okay, and so is that accurate? Did anything get left out? Or?
Yeah, basically we were stationed at 4th Avenue, and the main kind of protest was organized there, and there was a couple guys up at 0 Ave, and they asked us to come walk up, so a group of about 20 of us walked up, and we just went there in support, and with our Canadian flags and children, and all we did is when we got there, we just seen the police line and just stood with our fellow Canadians and put our arms around them, and basically all I did was put my arm around my brother like this, and they just rushed us, and he took me, and next thing you know, we were in the back of a paddy wagon, cuffed.
And I see you have some red marks from being cuffed as well.
Yeah,
so
they were a little tight. They did loosen them eventually. After asking, after I kind of guilted them after saying I was a 6-year veteran for the Canadian Army, so they kind of felt bad then and let up on me, but they didn't take them off, so.
yeah, but they're off now. Were you guys charged with something? What happened after you were arrested?
Yeah, so we were charged with mischief, actually. I don't know how that is, but
Yeah. So, yeah, they said it was mischief, but I don't really understand how that applies to anything, if we were just standing on the side of the road. And
Right, you were protesting. Were you blocking the actual border in any way?
There was a group of us that were blocking the road or standing on the road, but the police vehicles are the ones actually blocking the border, since we have 2 lanes available still open, so.
So we've seen state of emergencies be called in other provinces and arrests as well. Why was it so important for you guys to be here today and maybe even risk what ended up happening to you, which is being arrested?
yeah, I don't know what to say. I came from 100 Mile House, and I came here for my kids. I came here for everybody's kids. The mandates need to stop. I'm not allowed to go to the ice arena, watch my kids skate. We're not allowed to go to the swimming pool and watch them swim. I'm not allowed to take my kids out for dinner. This is about freedom. This is not about Corona-19 anymore. This is for the people. We need to stand together and get our freedom back.
In regards to that, the mandates themselves, where people are losing their jobs, and there's families and livelihoods being lost here, and my whole family has lost their jobs. We're contemplating fleeing the country because we can't do anything anymore. I can't even support my family. I just have a 15-day-old here, and I'm fighting for them. We're fighting for our families and everybody else's families, and peacefully, obviously, and but still, we're getting arrested for as true Canadians just waving a Canadian flag.
As you said, you served for the country. Did you ever think you'd see something like this in your lifetime in Canada?
to be honest, I thought the First and Second World Wars was that was their fight for freedom, and that we had it, and we but freedom's not free. We have to hold to it, and if anybody infringes on that, we're not going to be that small minority fringe.
All right, just interrupting for just a moment. Thanks for everybody who's been supporting our convoy coverage at convoyreports.com. But there's another way that a lot of people who appreciate our independent journalism support us, and that is grabbing our gear. So thank you, sir, for that.
Thanks for the opportunity, because we got to spread the word, because peace is breaking out all over the planet and we're demanding our freedom back.
Absolutely, and it sends the message. You stand with the truckers. You can find more shirts like that at rebelnewsstore.com. We also just ran into another gentleman with his Let's Go Brandon shirt from there. So if you're a rebel or got a rebel in the family and you want to support the work that we do, please go to rebelnewsstore.com. Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, this is a little different than yesterday. Now there's police cars actually blocking in between the two destinations where you can find protesters. Perhaps that has to do with yesterday. Certain vehicles from the convoy actually got right through the police blockade and made their way down closer to the border. So I guess they're using resources here to stop convoys from happening as well. Also, something I'm noticing more of today is helicopters circulating above us. They've been going in continuous loops, and we're going to get down to the site. I see lots of people down here, so we're going to hear what they have to say about the rest. All right, right now we've got a family-friendly atmosphere here. We got food over here, some kids playing hockey, the horses are strolling around. But earlier, not too long ago, you saw the arrests go down. Tell us what happened there.
Yes, I was with my family and we were walking up to the border, and we were just walking peacefully. And then all of a sudden we turn around. We were talking actually with some people from the other side. There was an American people saying, we're with you guys, and they were so supportive. And then all of a sudden we start hearing like, let's go. And then we turn around and there was a bunch of policemen coming out of the offices, of the border offices. And then they're starting saying, come on, let's move. And we started walking, and the police look at us and say, like, if you don't move, we're going to arrest you for criminal mischief. And we were like, we're just walking. We're a family. And that was
you guys were threatened to be arrested too today.
Yes. The police look at us and say, like, either you move or you're going to be arrested. And, well, I was walking with my two children and my husband, and we were like, what's going on? And then all of a sudden people started like saying, no, we're here peacefully. And then the people started to get arrested. And there was then all of a sudden people started forming a line, holding each other's arms and trying to resist. But the police kept walking and pushing. And it was a moment like my heartbeat was like, oh my gosh, my kids are here. And they're arresting people because they say that we're criminals or like doing something like we're just walking here. So it was a scary moment.
As we stand here, I don't know how this is going to be printed in the legacy media, but what would you want Canadians to know about why you guys are here?
I am here because my children, that they used to go to swimming lessons, they cannot go to swimming lessons anymore because they're not vaccinated. My daughter cannot go with her friends to the movies. I am from Mexico. I cannot visit my family. I have been here for 2 years. I cannot take a plane because I'm not vaccinated, because that decision that I took for me and for my family, I'm a prisoner. I can't get out of the country. I cannot go see my family. My children cannot have a normal life. From all places, this is Canada. I come from Mexico, and we hold Canada so high that, the rule of law and there's no corruption. And then you see this and the things that my children are not able to do because a decision as parents that we took, that's totally not fair. And this is not the Canada that I want for them. You know what I'm saying? We just want to be free, have a body autonomy, and just live a normal life.
All right, now we're in front of 2nd Ave. You can see 4 vehicles behind us that are blocking. One of them seems to be a food truck. So as far as I can see, and if you caught my report of what took place here yesterday at convoyreports.com, no traffic from the crossing has been able to go to and from through here for at least 24 hours. We're hearing that on the other side of the border here, there is some support there. I'm sure there's also some people who are not pleased about it. We're going to talk to one of the people in the blockade behind us right now. All right, sir. So you are, as far as the protesters go, you're at the front of the line with blocking the border. What brought you here today?
Disagreements with the government and looking for freedom for Canadians. All of the world, actually, but Canadians for starters.
Did you witness the arrest that took place today?
I didn't know. I have heard about it, yeah, but I wasn't there.
Did you see any violence or anything like that?
No, I haven't seen it. It's all love. It's all about the love, right?
And how long have you been here today?
I've been here.
Sorry, since this started.
I've been here for about a week so far. Okay.
Right.
So.
What message do you have? What is a dog? Hi, you want to say? Okay. What brings you here to the blockade? Oh.
Who is it, Sasha? Is it the government? Who is it, Sasha? Is it the government? Is it Trudeau? See him.
Oh, no, it's okay. We're not the legacy media. We don't take money from the government. It's okay. We're friendly. So if you have one message for Canadians who are maybe concerned that the blockade's here, what would you want to tell them?
Everybody's looking and working towards integrity, truth and justice, right? We don't want much more or much less than what has been established over the last few hundred years, and that's taken us as expected and taken as granted that these are our liberties. But we something that we must come out and protect at all costs.
I'm standing at 2nd Avenue. This is where a few cars are still blocking this border, which means if you watched my last report at convoyreports.com, no traffic has been coming to and from this area for at least 24 hours. This is officially an ongoing blockade here in Surrey, BC. I'm hearing on the other side, some are in favor from the US, but I'm sure some people are obviously frustrated. It's a peaceful vibe right now. You got the scoop on what happened to the arrest. I sent an email out to the police to get their side of the story, and at the moment I have not heard back from them. If I do in a timely manner, I will also update that in the written report for this at convoyreports.com. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed getting the other side of the story here. And if you appreciate our boots on the ground at the convoys and the blockades across Canada and you want to support our independent journalism, you can do so by donating what you can at convoyreports.com, and you will also get daily updates there as well. I'm Drea Humphrey for Rebel News, and thank you. If you appreciate that we bring you the other side of the story, and we've had our boots on the ground across Canada giving you fact-based reports on the convoys, please consider supporting our journalism at convoyreports.com. All donations there help us to continue to bring you reports like this, and you of course will get updated regularly on what's really happening at these convoys.